Why, in a world literally overflowing with opportunity, do so many people completely fail to achieve their dreams? Seriously, think about it. We live in a golden age. This is the era humanity has dreamed about and worked toward for thousands of years. And yet, we kind of just take it for granted. We look around at this land of staggering abundance, and somehow, the vast majority of people are just barely scraping by. So, why is that? Well, let's dive right into it. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to visually decode Earl Nightingale's absolutely timeless classic, The Strangest Secret. We're going to break down his exact formula to uncover the ultimate key to personal success. Together, we'll map out exactly how the human mind dictates our reality, and more importantly, how you can take total control of it, starting right now. All right, Section 1, the problem of conformity. To really understand success, we first have to look at how society operates right now. It's kind of like a wartime convoy that actually slows down to protect its weakest link, which ends up causing us to lose our unique direction. I want you to consider the sheer terror of this statistic. Nightingale asks us to look at 100 men, starting out at age 25. Now, they all have a sparkle in their eye, right? They all genuinely believe they're going to be successful. But fast forward to age 65, out of that 100, only 1 is rich, 4 are financially independent, 5 are still working, and a staggering 90 out of 100 are completely broke, entirely dependent on others for life's basic necessities. That means 95% of people fail to reach their goals by age 65. So what happened to that spark they had at 25? Well, the crucial point here is perfectly captured by the distinguished psychiatrist Rollo May. He said, "The opposite of courage in our society is not cowardice. It is conformity." The primary reason people end up broke or unfulfilled by age 65 isn't a lack of talent. It's not bad luck. It's literally just because they act like everyone else, that 95% who fail. They just conform without ever asking why or even knowing where they're actually going. The depth of this conformity is absolutely staggering. If you went out and surveyed working people and just asked them, hey, why do you wake up and go to work every morning? 19 out of 20 people have absolutely no idea. If you press them on it, they'll just shrug and say something like, well, because everyone else goes to work in the morning. They are just blindly following the crowd. Moving to Section 2, the definition of success. So if conformity is the ultimate trap, what actually separates that successful 5% from the rest of the pack? It all starts with redefining the target. Here is the absolute definitive concept of success. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. That's it. True success isn't just about hoarding money. It's simply working deliberately toward a predetermined goal that you actually genuinely want to achieve. A school teacher who always wanted to teach, that's a success. A woman who always wanted to be a wonderful wife and mother, she's a success. The guy running the corner gas station is a success if that was his deliberate predetermined goal. To make this crystal clear, let's look at a vivid comparison. Imagine a ship setting sail with a captain and a crew who have a heavily planned voyage. They know exactly where they're going and exactly how long it's going to take. Now, imagine a second ship, completely identical in every way, but with no captain, no crew, and zero destination. You just turn on the engine and let it go. Obviously, it's either going to sink or wash up abandoned on some deserted beach somewhere. A human without a goal is exactly like that second ship, just doomed to drift aimlessly. All right, Section 3. The strangest secret. We have officially arrived at the core thesis of this explainer. This is the one single point that the great philosophers and prophets of history unanimously agree upon. We become what we think about. Marcus Aurelius, Ralph Waldo Emerson, William James, they all said variations of this exact phrase. This simple, profound rule is the absolute key to success, but you have to realize it's a double-edged sword. You see, a person with a clear, worthwhile goal will reach it simply because they're constantly thinking about it. But a person with no goal, whose thoughts are just filled with anxiety, fear, and confusion, well, they're going to become exactly that. If you think about nothing, you become nothing. The reality is, the human mind is literally the last great unexplored continent on Earth. It contains riches far beyond our wildest dreams. But we tend to take our minds completely for granted. Why? Because they came as standard equipment at birth, right? They were given to us for free. Human nature is to place very little value on things we get for nothing, while we overvalue things we pay money for. And yet, the truly priceless things in life, our mind, our soul, our body, our hopes, our dreams, are all absolutely free. Think of it this way. Your mind works exactly like fertile land. The earth doesn't actually care what you plant in it. If a farmer plants a seed of beautiful, nourishing corn and right next to it plants nightshade, a deadly poison, the soil will faithfully grow both. The mind is way more fertile and incredible than the earth, but it operates on that exact same inflexible law. It will return whatever you plant, whether that's success and positivity or poison and negativity. Section 4. The Law of Service. Now we have to pivot a little bit to the practical application here. Let's talk about how this mindset shift actually translates into real-world wealth and abundance. This is where most people get it completely backwards. Millions of people think that making money leads to success. No way. Making money is the result of success, and success is in direct proportion to the service you provide. Think of a guy sitting in front of a cold, empty stove, aggressively demanding, "Give me heat, and then I will feed you with wood." It doesn't work like that. That's a recipe for failure. You absolutely must put in the fuel, the wood, the service to others before you can ever expect the heat of financial rewards. You simply cannot enrich yourself without enriching others first. Section 5. The 30-Day Experiment. Okay, this is your call to adventure. For the next month, you are invited to test this incredible theory in your own life. Let's revisit our anchor phrase here. We become what we think about. For the next 30 days, you need to take absolute, relentless control over this one specific rule. Your mind will only think about what you allow it to think about. You have to emotionally and intellectually accept that you are the sum total of your thoughts. To help you along, Dr. David Harold created a brilliant formula to reprogram your mindset. It starts with setting a really clearly defined goal and stopping your own self-sabotage. You literally have to force yourself to think about why you can succeed and trace your negative attitudes back to their origins so you can banish those limiting beliefs for good. Finally, you change your internal self-image and simply start acting like the successful person you have decided to become. So, what are the actual rules for your 30-day experiment? First off, write your specific goal on a card and carry it everywhere. Look at it morning and night. Whenever a negative thought creeps in, instantly replace it with a positive visualization of your goal. Also, commit to saving 10% of your income and give your absolute best effort at your current job, knowing your returns will perfectly match your service. Stay cheerful, feed your mind with inspiring books like Dorothea Brand's Wake Up and Live or Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. And hey, if you stumble and get overwhelmed by negative thoughts, don't panic. Seriously, just restart your 30 days from scratch. Which brings us to a really vital question for you right now. What will you write on your card today? You have absolutely nothing to lose and an entire life to gain. It is time to step out of that slow-moving conformity convoy. Decide right now to take the very first step toward your progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Grab a card, write it down, and start your 30 days. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Now go plant some corn.